Hello, this is a gameplay on Foxxy at 2 down level where black won by resignation. It seems that white played his last move at n10 and immediately after resigned, so he didn't wait for black to add another move and then resign. This happens often on Foxxy, even at higher level. So let's have a look. This was quite exciting. So first of all, we have a very patient and calm opening, parallel Fuseki with black taking Oshimari. And now white takes the middle side extension, but this is suboptimal. Usually white should think about the middle side extension in the top, but that happens when black has a stone on the Hoshi point, so q16. Because if this happens right away, black can just take another Shimari and it just feels too good to start with two corner enclosures like this. So for white it's more urgent to prevent that top right Shimari, therefore white should play p17 or p16 right away instead of a middle side extension or a middle side split. Well, white can also make his own Shimari 03 for example or 04, but black can still take the second one. So for white it's really urgent to prevent that happening with p17, and then he can decide if he wants to go for a Shimari himself or an extension for a base or a middle side extension, which is still a little bit slow. So at this stage of the game, white and well both black and white should focus on the corners most and then extend towards the sides. So taking this middle side extension seems a little bit slow. Therefore, black prevents the Shimari, which is a good move. Now white takes one space high pincer. This can get into some complicated variations, but there are a few basic josekis as well. So let's see. Black plays a one space jump. This is probably the most common move to consider. Simply split white stones. Before we check what happened here and the common patterns, we can think about or see another option for black, which is the attached entry and then a crosscut. This can also get a little bit complicated, but not that much. So we have a crosscut situation where white can play an Atari 03, then extend up. So with this move, white wants to see whether black will go for a capture on the left side or simply take the stone on the right side. So this is the more common variation where black captures here, white turns, black takes right away, white connects his stones with q5, black captures the other stone, usually with an OB, and then white extends from the wall. So white is making a wall here and a little more on the right side, black takes the territory on the bottom. This is one of the basic variations here with this crosscut. And there's another very common situation where white simply extends L3, so white doesn't want to give up the bottom easily. And in this case, black puts pressure at q5. Now this q5 prepares two follow-ups. One of them is to cover the corner at r5, and the other one is to Atari n5 and squeeze white into a pretty bad shape. So white usually goes up n5 and allows the block in the corner, and this is going to be a trade, Atari and descent. Well, there is still Agi in the corner, but for now the variation comes to an end and white can play wherever he wants. So this is a trade where white goes for the bottom stones in exchange for the corner. Now if white doesn't go up at n5 and accepts the trade, then when white blocks at r5 it's quite painful because black will play Atari here, then push. So this move q5 it's just preparation, and if white resists to all these Ataris, it's going to be oops, it's better to play r3 and take away liberty. This is going to be too painful for white. So black gets a very nice wall by sacrificing and attacks the two stones in the corner. So that's not a Joseki anymore, it's just a failure by white. So back to the original game, we have a one space jump, but in the future it's also good to consider entry and crosscut. So that's mostly to go for the territory on the bottom. Now white obviously will play q6, and here again we have two moves to think about. The move in the actual game, which is p6, absolutely fine. This is actually the move that the AI likes a lot too, so it's pretty simple. The idea behind this move is to push several times, get a wall like it happened here, and then counter pincer. Now having a strong wall like this, black can actually stretch one more time in Sente, and then the pincer can be a little further, like k4 or even j3, j4. You don't want to extend too close to the wall. because if you just extend around L4, white is happy to discard this N4. So white can play an approach move like J3. Let's say black plays Kosumi here or separates this way, then a Kosumitsuke Q3, then Keima this way. So in the end, capturing this N4 is going to be very small, and white profits on the outside, both on the right and the left of the black thickness. So taking it too small is not a nice idea for black. Therefore, black should pincer around J3, for example. This happened in one of my recent games against the 9-9 on Foxxy. And the variation is quite simple. If white resists here, you push under and then you extend towards the corner, so you make a base. Now when white turns this way, black can still run in the middle with a Keima or a jump. So you can use the wall to fight later in the center. And even if you don't make the territory around the wall, you can transfer that power into making territory somewhere else. So the pincer doesn't have to be that close. And pushing one more time is fine. It happened in the game, and we can look at the variations. When black push here, if white takes away the extension, black has a nice follow-up to Hane and immediately double Hane. Now the idea of this double Hane is to cut at R8, of course after pushing Q5, but you don't have to start with a push at Q5. I mean, it's playable also like this. Push first, then Hane, and then double Hane. This makes the double Hane work 100%, because if white cuts and plays Atari, you immediately Atari from behind and capture 3 stones. So this will disconnect white from the corner. But you can use this exchange Q5 a little later. So first of all, this is like the invisible Sente move. So first you Hane, then you double Hane. Now if your opponent plays Atari and another Atari, now you push in the corner and start using the idea of shortage of liberties. But they know better, so especially at down level, so he will defend either like this or descend again, and then Atari one more time and connect solid. So you wall him in on the right side. And even if you don't make the territory on the bottom, there's a lot of potential at R13 that's worth taking. So pushing again, it's generally Sente. Anyway, the pincer, it's a bit close. White jumps. White doesn't have to jump. White can play Q3 and approach J3. Now if you go back a few moves, instead of pushing here at P6, black has the option to play a counter pincer right away. Now, so without pushing, this is the usual pincer, because you want to be able to connect at N3. So when white comes out here, usually you just attach N3 and you connect underneath like this. So it's not such a big deal if white makes a wall, because it feels like he's got 2 extensions very close to his own thickness, so it makes white a little bit over concentrate, and it's very big for black to take the corner at R3. If white extends here to R10, it still feels like he's not going to build that much, and besides black it's Sente, so black can take a big point here, a Shimari, or approach the right side to limit that expansion. So this is another basic pattern. Jump and then counter pincer. So when we have the pushes, which happened in the game, then the pincer, it still works to play this attach at N3, because if white plays O4, now white's idea here is to push and cut P4 or to go down turn at O3. So when you connect right away, he will push and then separate like this, which is bad for black. But before you connect under, you can push into the corner. Now if white blocks R5, which is the most natural move and actually quite mandatory, black can connect O3 and it's absolutely fine. So the push and cut doesn't work anymore, because black will capture this way. And if white goes down with fighting spirit, black is actually very happy to separate R5, because now these 3 stones are in a big trouble, so is the corner. So it's nice to separate this way. This will probably not going to happen. So black can always use this N3, but the timing is to play N3 and after white turns, you push Q5. If you push Q5 and white blocks, when you go N3, white is not going to try that cut anymore. He will look for other variations to treat this N4 lightly and damage the bottom side. So timing is key most of the time in Go. So playing F3, it's possible, but black can still push again P8 to threaten the Hane and double Hane on the right side, and then just extend a little bit tighter H3 or G3. or jump along to attack the n6 group a little stronger, and then use this attach at n3. So white is on the run now. Now with this move, white wants to play with fighting spirit h3, and the Tsuke-Hane combination feels good for white, so black should actually jump out. Now with this jump, black prepares two moves. One is to surround the lower left corner with a triple approach, and the other one is to play a shoulder hit at j4 to surround the bottom stone. So when white protects the corner, black plays here. This is a very common way to punish this h3. If white comes out again with fighting spirit, then black goes for a triple approach, and this is also good, because on the bottom side the fight can still be quite fine for black, and on the left side white needs to fix that corner somehow, and many times white will just attach and connect and now descend in the on the second line to secure the corner, but this weakens the stone on the left side. So the fight is very promising for black, because all of a sudden you have a new target here. These two stones are weak, the other two stones are weak, so that's more of a fighting spirit variation. Therefore, in general, when black jumps here, white doesn't allow a triple approach or a triple kakari, and white either defends like this or high, then black puts pressure on h3. So white might play a Kosumi Tsuke, but this h3, it's kind of surrounded. So instead of Tsuke, preparation first, jump and surround. Now this crosscut, it's a bit too much. White has two options. One is Atari here, like it happened in the game, or Atari k3, then connect. Now this will hurt the l4 stone. Black still needs to capture the bottom stone, and then white also has time to protect the corner. So here, white is actually giving one stone bait, this h3. Black plays lots of stones to surround it, and on the outside, white's formation is very nice and also hurts l4. So you don't want to play a crosscut that hurts your outside stones like that. I mean, if white plays Atari here and connects, now obviously this f3 is hurt. Therefore, the crosscut was a little bit overplayed here. Now the follow-up, just Nobi, it's better to play Atari from the outside and squeeze. If white comes out, you just give up the stone. And then it's a great wall on the outside. Also, if white captures right away, go into Atari, so squeeze even more, then peep. Once you peep, you connect and attack in the same time. So if white connects solid, black will push again for the Hane and double Hane on the right side, and then surround the three stones. If white comes out with the three stones, then you can peep to make him heavy. You play the Hane combination again, and white is still on the run with the stick on the bottom. So it's actually good to play the Atari directly. If white goes Atari under, you just take, and when white pushes, you can play this move or attach again. Try to connect your stones under. So playing this Nobi, it's a bit too optimistic, because in the end, the formation will be very heavy on the bottom. So this is one option for white. White can also go out here or push and fight, but it's good enough to play like this, because black really worked hard to capture one stone. So black kind of lost the attack on the weak stones here. White covers, that's a very powerful move. White can also push here, threatening to go out, so black has to do this, then jump out with the weak group, like that. Playing this way, black can go on a counter attack. So peep, that's fine, but actually this peep can wait a little bit, because you can still use the entry move. So after the peep, it's difficult to connect under unless just Keima and then crawl. So push, white comes out, this is all forced. So far in this fight, it feels like white did quite okay, but now he's still running with the stick. So, I mean, he took some profit in the lower left corner, but black is attacking again. So white turns, but it's actually big for white to play the Nobi here. And when black comes out, simply jump along. This turn, it's not Sente. So Hane in the head of 3 stones, very good. But instead of this attach, should really continue with the double Hane. That attach is really not important, and obviously white is going to push q4. It's not the kind of situation where you play r3 and your opponent goes s3, and then you Hane, pull back, and you get some I shape in the corner. So Hane was good, but then r3, not so amazing. Probably the way black was reading this out, it's something like a clamp here, Atari, then either cut or double hane. Cut can be an option because white has to Atari and push this way. Then black can Atari here, white needs to capture this, and black can make a Punuki. If white goes out, he will lose the stones because it's a snapback this way. Well, I'm not sure, but that's like wishful thinking. So obviously white will push, black connects, and white goes pushes through. So R3 is punished right away. This was a correct sequence for white. Atari, then hanging connection, that's fine. White cuts here. It's not the right time to go for a shibari. Black should still fight here. Going out, it's important. Because what happens when you take a shibari, all of a sudden you back away from the fight. White can capture this stone, and now the bottom group is in danger. So this means black has to connect underneath. And well, this Ponuki is just a super powerful formation for white. Now white can split the top. So you should still fight on the right side. But well, it's a pity black never played this R10 double hane earlier. M17 is good directional play. White has to make an extension in the top. Then 2-space extension here is good too. Now white is trying to create Aji for a ko in the top side, but he failed. Normally white can play R17, but white really needs to take this Ponuki. This was on the board for quite a long time, because let's say black secures a corner or extends in front of the thickness. White has this kind of follow-up. Tsuke, then connect here, Atari, then connect this way, or even cut. Yeah, actually cut the 3 stones. So white can profit on the bottom side a bit. Yeah, so we push like this. Now it's dangerous for white. This group can die in the top right. In fact, for white to live in the corner, he needs to go down here. When black hane in the corner, white descends and this group will live unconditionally. This is already alive. But in order to kill this group, black has a Tesuji in the corner at S19, then a 1-space jump, which is the vital point, then threaten the snapback and start a ko. So this is a basic Tsumego to fight a ko and kill the corner. So white could live in ko, and the way white played, white is supposed to die. So black shouldn't capture this stone. The way to kill here is hit the vital point again at Q19. Now there are several ways for white to continue here, but he will die in any variation. When white plays P19, black just goes R18 threatening a snapback. If white connects, black doesn't have to do anything anymore, because anyway white can go Q18. So let's say black plays here. This is a self Atari, and when white goes down, black can take away the liberty at T17, and this is going to be self Atari too. So there is Dametsumari in both directions. Now if white plays P18, there are 2 ways to continue, and of course the cut doesn't work right away because white will go Atari here, and then we have a ko fight at S19. Like this is going to be a ko, and you want to kill this unconditionally, and it's possible. So playing P19 is an option, because when white turns, next you cut R18, and again we have the Dametsumari situation as before. And another option is to play O19, and when white cuts, then you play Atari, white captures a stone, then you block. And it's the same thing. So that ko doesn't help white too much on the outside. But it's better to avoid any ko situation. So push P19 and cut. This is the way to kill. If white plays Q18, just Atari under. When white plays here, connect, and that's a false eye. And it's the same thing when white plays R19. You can connect underneath, or you can play this move threatening a snapback. If white connects, you play on the outside on this Atari capture, Atari connect, so that's a false eye. So the Tesuji again, it's Q19. What are the moves white can try? This one, you just capture the stone. If white goes down, you can cut here, and this is threatening cut at R18. Or you can play here, going for the capture at P18, then take away liberty again. So in all the variations in this corner, white dies unconditionally, but capturing one stone, white is happy to sacrifice, and then white should go down, but he made a mistake. So now with this r19, black still has a co-fight at q19 that will be played out later in the game. So this was quite a roller coaster. Both white and black made some mistakes in this local fight. Therefore, white should descend, and later in the game when black plays here, white needs another move inside. But for now, the shape is just fine, and black has to come back and capture this stone. If white comes out, black has some issues with the groups on the right. So another option for black is to extend here. Then when white goes out, this move is Sente, and Kosumi will live in the top too. So let's see how the fight develops. Black comes in. Well, black doesn't want to start the core right away. He needs some core threats. Actually, for black, it's still good to extract this stone, because this will create some agi on the right to push at q5 and cut and so on. Besides, this is separating the stick in the middle, so never know when this group comes under attack. On the left side, it's interesting to enter d8, because this move threatens to connect under at c10. So white will probably go in this direction, then maybe a tsuke in the corner, pull back, turn, and now the two stones are separated. Now either cap or play some shoulder hit and attach on the top to lean on the top stones and attack the left. But this is kind of similar. The thing is, white can separate here at b10, then black has to come out or slide in the corner first, jump out, white is on the run too, and jump again. It's good to stay connected to the stones on the right. So white played an attach, Hane. I shouldn't start the ko immediately. It's okay to play the nobi here, because this creates cutting points. So white will block, black plays a hanging connection, white needs to protect against the cut, then slide in the corner. White has to block here, so black has a very strong position. And when you start this ko, one of the ko threats should be a shoulder hit like this. If white connects, you take back the ko. If white continues, then you just separate, and this is very nice. It's a lot of profit in the top this way. So we have a ko. Obviously white is not going to answer anything, but okay, that ko is not that large. It's just absolutely free for black. I mean, white could block here, but white really wants to leave, so black takes the corner. And this is the moment where black is going to reverse the game. So white captures again, and now the proper move is to play Atari here and catch this one stone. If white comes out, the net works. That's very dangerous when white extends, but white needs to Hane first. That's good. Nobi up. This block it's big actually to save the group, but going out here can cause more trouble. Black really needs to do something about his right group, and then hit the vital point, bump, connect, need to connect, then some forcey moves on the right to get stronger and come out here. So black is actually under attack. This group became a target. So white can use all his stones in the center, attacking that group in the top. And the middle game will be totally different than it was in the actual game. So white protected. Black got a lot of profit here. Very good to extend. Actually, yeah, it also works to play d2 and then connect. So Hane, Atari here it's Sente, block, connect, white needs to protect, and those two stones are captured. So now black can come back and protect the top. Let's see, so descent, one Atari Sente, the block. Black doesn't need this b4. So this is another situation where you gotta read the semi. Let's say you play this one and white tries to kill the corner. So white is going to turn b4 to take away the liberties. Black will block b3. Now, what are white's moves in the corner? There are only 3 liberties. So the Tetsuji that many people think about here, it's a2 or b1. Now, let's say we start a2. Black obviously will separate. Then there are 1, 2, 3 against 1, 2, 3. But a4 it's a common liberty. And besides, black can make an eye in the corner. So if white reduces a liberty from the outside, black is not going to block here and get captured, but block this way to make an eye in the corner. White needs to protect, and then black covers on the outside. So now there are only 2 liberties. But the thing is, when white plays Atari a4, this is self Atari, so black will capture, and that's it. Which means black doesn't have to play a move inside right now. Black has center and can do some other things. So white took, eventually white took gote with this second move, which is not really urgent. So white missed an opportunity to fight, take a ponuki or jump on the right side and force this capture. Then, I don't know, tsuke like this. It's a bit tough still. I mean, the game is now very close. So both white and black missed opportunities during fights, like the killing the top instead of a ko. Yeah, this move, it's really forcing white capture the stone. But it's more interesting to go out in order to target this M8 group in the middle. Oh, this was too ambitious. Why should just take the stone and feel solid and good about that? That invasion shows that white is actually thinking he's way behind. So now he's just losing more points. When white captures the ponuki, it's small already because he donated too many points on the right side. And now he's just killing himself more. Here, just Kosumi and leave it like that. Then play other endgame moves. So now in his desperation, white is giving up more and more points. Here it's better to push along to take away liberty. If white jumps, you Nobi, threatening the cut, and then catch everything in a net. Playing just Kosumi doesn't take away liberty, so it's much easier for white to come out in a few moves like this. That Atari. Now white is taking away his own liberties, so jump along. For now, it seems that white kinda escaped, but in fact it's not so easy. It's still better to play Keima to get ahead, because on push and cut you have Atari and connect, so nothing to worry about. The fight, it's okay. And another problem for white, when you play a move like this, you're actually aiming on two things. One is to cut with Hane and catch this group in the middle. The other one is to cover with a cap move. So either catch this group or the bottom group. Two targets. Yeah, this Hane was really good. So now go between the groups. Yeah, eventually you need to come back here. That's a pity. But wait a second. If you turn one time, this is Sente. Then keep pushing like this and separate the other group. So when white plays this move, you can actually attach. Then on Hane, you play this one. When white plays here, you cut like this, so you can connect under. So with this move, it's already connected. Atari and pull back. Therefore, you don't need to connect right now. Once you turn, you have the option to connect under anyway. Let's see another variation. So push, separate. If white plays this one and you go for a clamp, when white plays here, you connect under. If white goes down, you wedge, Atari, connect. When white plays here, you pull back. And if white captures a stone, Atari, Atari again, and kill everything on the bottom. So again, black is connected. Yeah, there is no way to disconnect that bottom side. This is just a cautious move. Another, yeah, black feels good about the position here. And here is another tactical unforced error. Black missed the net. It's very good to capture those stones like that directly instead of a ladder attempt that is going to fail, because they just die in one stroke. If white Hane here you block, you can try the net earlier as well, but when you do this, white can Hane, Atari, and come out. So, and if you wanna make sure the group is captured, you're going to play another move here, then white will save the corner. So it's better to play one more Atari, then the net, and on the Hane, you block. On this move, you gotta protect or fight the ko. But anyway, that ko is still there in the corner after this combination. So net, a basic capture procedure. Then here is some loose ladder. Yeah, the idea was good to capture those stones in the middle, but after playing the net, those stones are going to be in trouble anyway. So that's a pretty good catch. Now white is playing some hopeful moves. Ah yeah. It doesn't matter much which Kosumi. So white got surrounded. And now he realized he loses the game big because he died all over the center. So this was a pretty spectacular comeback for black, I would say. But with some moments where both black and white were either ahead or behind. So quite a roller coaster game. I hope you enjoyed this review and don't miss the top right corner Tsumego in the future. Also try to play other Josekis in this lower area and of course use the double hand at Q9. And well, it also requires some reading in the B4 area to see whether you need to play a move or not. That's important to keep Sente instead of Gote. Enjoy.